While you were arguing about pronouns on Twitter, Africa just told the world to keep their fake narratives. Recently, some of you have been consistently telling us in the comment section to start a weekly recap of the hottest news around the world and in Africa. And we are starting right now. Let's start with something that looks like a Netflix crime series, but is very, very real. Burkina Faso seized 900 motorbikes, 164 tricycles. And these are not from a dealership going out of business, but from a terror financing network. And now here is where it gets spicy. These bikes were allegedly headed straight to terrorist zones in the Sahel. And get this, nobody has come forward to claim them. Nobody. Think about that for a second. You lose 900 bikes worth thousands of dollars and you don't mention it. Either someone's very bad at inventory or we are looking at something much more bigger. This isn't just about Burkina Faso cleaning house. This is about a country that kicked out French forces that told the IMF to take a hike and is now hunting down supply chains that keeps chaos profitable. But here's the most important question. How many countries are sitting on these networks, pretending they don't exist because it is easier than admitting it? Speaking about administering the truth, let's talk about Justice Minister Matamba from the Democratic Republic of Congo. This man literally said corruption should be punished by unaliving. So naturally, and I mean naturally, he's been accused of awarding a $29 million no-bid contract to a company that opened its bank account one day and received $19 million the next day. The irony is so thick you could mine it and sell it to China. But here's what's really happening. While Matamba was busy making death threats against corruption, the DRC lost billions in mineral wealth to shell companies and phantom contracts. The man who was supposed to be the solution became the problem. So this particular story is not just about the hypocritical minister. It's about a system where people meant to guard the votes are the ones robbing it blind. And while they play musical chairs with stolen millions, ordinary Congolese people can't afford basic healthcare. So the real question is, how many anti-corruption crusaders are just better dressed thieves? Now, let's talk about something that sounds like satire, but it is painfully real. Donald Trump ambushed South African President Ramaphosa in the Oval Office with a video about white genocide in South Africa. Elon Musk just stood there watching how his friend humiliated an African president. Now here's where it gets interesting. This genocide narrative traces back to Tucker Carlson and a South African lobby group called AfriForum. You know, the same Tucker who thinks M&Ms are too woke. But let's follow the money trail. AfriForum gets funding from American conservative groups. They produce content about South African persecution. Then American media amplifies it, and American politicians repeat it. And suddenly it's justification from everything, from sanctions to military intervention. This isn't about protecting anyone. It's about manufacturing consent for interference in African affairs. It's the same playbook that had been used in Libya, Zimbabwe, and anywhere else where people try to challenge Western interests. And the saddest part, while they are creating fake genocides for clicks and votes, real violence like the over 70,000 murders that happen in South Africa annually gets ignored because it doesn't fit the narrative. If they would lie about genocide to manipulate policy, what else are they lying about? And now for the main event. Ghana just told every foreign gold buyer to pack their bags and leave. Not tomorrow, not next month, but now. They are joining Burkina Faso in what I called the Great African Resource Revolution. Foreign gold traders who have been sucking Ghana's resource wealth for decades, gone, and are replaced by a national gold board. And the timing, no. Gold just hit $3,200 per ounce. Now this is not a coincidence, it's a strategy. Think about what's really happening here. For decades, African countries watched their gold live through middlemen who added zero value but took massive cuts. Ghana basically said, we will cut out the middleman and keep the profit. This is economic sovereignty happening in real time. Not the theoretical kind they teach in university. It's the practical kind that put food on tables and build real infrastructure. But here is what makes this revolutionary. Ghana is not just kicking out foreign gold buyers. They are building the institutional capacity to replace them. Gold board. Now, gold board isn't just a name. It's a statement that Africa can manage its own resources. Now let's connect the dots, because these aren't four random stories. They are chapters in the same book. Burkina Faso hunts terror financing networks. Ghana kicks out foreign gold traders. Both countries are taking control of their own narratives and resources. Meanwhile, the DRC shows us when you don't, corruption eats you alive. And South Africa shows us how propaganda is used to justify interference when countries get too independent. This is the pattern. Countries that challenge the status quo get the propaganda treatment. Countries that play along get the corruption treatment. And countries that try to break free get the instability treatment. But there is something different this time. The tools that used to work, fake news, economic pressure, manufactured chaos, they are not working like they used to. So here's your takeaway. The real battle for Africa's future is not happening in boardrooms in America or in London. It's happening in small-scale gold markets in Ghana, motorcycle seizures in Burkina Faso, and every moment a leader chooses their people over their offshore accounts. And the question isn't whether Africa can govern itself. The right question is, can the world handle an Africa that does? Truth, gold and guns, in that order. Because the truth about Africa's worth, backed by gold in Africa's ground, defended by Africans with the courage to say enough. That's what sovereignty actually looks like. The lens is clear, the choice is yours. See you in my next video.